I have been putting off making this video for about, oh, I don't know, 6 months or so. I have not wanted to do this because it's a tough one. It's kind of hard, but still, here I am. We're going to do it. We're going to sit down and be diligent. All right, here we go. This is Packet Tracer 1118 for CCNA 2, and we're going to get this thing figured out. Now, just to let you know ahead of time, you probably saw the note already. Use the executive password as Cisco, and the privileged exec mode password is class. That's how we're going to log into all these devices we're about to. Okay. So opening up Sales, we're going to go to our desktop and command prompt IP config. Now this is just, don't really need to know this stuff, but it's going to let you in on how computers work and how to find IP addresses, most basically. So here's our IP address, here's our subnet mask, and the subnet mask up here, and this is the default gateway to where we need to go. Our default gateway would be that guy, that guy right there. Enough said. Okay, so let's enter the next command. The new server web address is b2server.pt.pka. Probably want to copy that. Enter the following: ns lookup to discover the IP address of B2 server. Packet tracer, here we go. So right down here, you'll notice that there's a non-authoritative answer is name. This is the web address, basically, the B2 server. And here is the IP address of this server that's tied. The name and the address are tied to each other. So you can look at it like this is the human name, this is the computer name. Okay, let's see. What address did the command return for B2 server? And that would be that address right there. Enter the Traceroute command to determine the determine the path from Sales, or my computer, all the way up to B2 server. Okay, so I'm going to say Traceroute and do that same address again. And it's going to spit out this lengthy address stuff, in which I have already put this into a network, a little document here, all these IP addresses. So this is our default gateway, as you can see up here, and then these are 3 routers in a row, and here lastly is the server itself. Alright, so what we're going to do is telnet to the first IP address in the Traceroute output and log in. So all we do is telnet, and then enter this address right here, that very first one, 172.16.0.1. Enter. It's going to ask us for a password. Guess what it is? Cisco. You got it. Let's go to privileged exec mode. Give the class command. Alright, we are in. Okay, telnet to the first. This is our answer. You are connected to R4 router. No duh. Issue the Traceroute. Notice that it's spelled a little differently. Command on the router using the address for the B2 server determined in step B. What is the difference about the Traceroute command on the router compared to the Traceroute on the PC? Let's just do it. Traceroute, and it's that same address. And whereas these outputs are on the right from the PC, the IP addresses are on the left on the router. The Traceroute command is an RT, and the Traceroute, that's for the PC. The Traceroute is that. I can't think of anything else that's different. So, router equals IP addresses on the left. PC equals IP addresses on the right. So I don't know. Other than that, plus the difference in the command, I think that's probably what they want you to remember, is the commands are just a tad bit different. So the router spells out the name Traceroute. Oh my goodness, come on, fingers. My hands are really cold and they're not working very well. And then this one, it just has the actual Traceroute for the PC. So you guys figure it out. What is the significance of R4 to sales? Like I said before, that's the gateway router right there. Gateway router. Okay. Which interface is used to read? Oh, I'm on the wrong line. Okay, use the show IP interface brief command to display the status of the interfaces on R4. Based on the output of the command, which interface is used to reach the next device in the list output from Traceroute, or the Traceroute command? Hint, use show running config to view the subnet mask for the interfaces, and that's a good hint. Show IP interface brief. So the next router on the line is this one right here, the 64.100.152. So I'm going to pull up a little diagram here of how traceroutes work. Now if you issue a ping going this direction toward the server, you're going to start getting the IP addresses back to you only from the side that's facing you. Okay, so these IP addresses in the middle, well, there's actually, I need one more router, but you get the idea. They're just spitting back to you the left-hand side of those interfaces. They're not telling you what's on this side. Okay, when we issue the show IP interface brief command, it's only showing you the interfaces for the whole router. It doesn't tell you anything over here. So we have the interface address here that's probably a good candidate of 64.100.151. Now let's do the show run command and find that address again. Right here, 64.100.151, and the subnet mask is a 255s and then the 252. So you know that it's a /30, and the next address, and there's only two possible addresses in a /30 with this address. It's going to be a 1, and the next one's going to be down here. It's going to be the 2. So we know that this is actually the interface that's going to be used. Okay, which interface is used to reach the next device in the list output from the traceroute command? So the next the interface, interface S000 is going to be that interface that it's going to leave. Telnet to the second IP address in the trace list command and log in. Okay. Telnet 64.100.150.2. Cisco. Enable class. That's what it was. I had to think for a second. Alright, what is the name of the device in which you are now connected? And that's this right there. Issue the show IP route command and study the output, referring to the list of codes at the beginning of the output. What are the different types of routes displayed in the routing table? Show IP route. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to open this up just a little bit more, get that to drop down. There are 4 different types of interfaces shown, and the different, how they were learned, I should say. That routes, I don't even know if the L is an actual route, but it's in the routing table, so I guess it is. The first one you see in this output is D, as a D route, and up here that's an EIGRP learned route. So this route right here was learned by this router through the EIGRP routing protocol. The next one you see is a C. Now a C is a directly connected network, so it knows that there's a /30 network on the S000 interface. Same thing down here. This is another C. Now we come to the L. The L is the local address of our serial 000. You see that we have a 64, 100, 102, and it's a /32, meaning the whole part of this is the host address. Okay, that's the host address right there. And the /32 would really mean how much of it's network and how much of it is host, but the /32 says none of this has any wriggle room. This is the address. The next one we find in our list output is a static one. So so far we've got ERGRP, we have a directly connected route, we also have a local route. Now we have a static. A static route is one that has been put in by an administrator who's working with a switch. We've got a 64, 100, 200.0/30, and he says if you want to get to this network, you have to use the serial 010 interface to get there. Now the last one we have is a little bit different, and that's a static default route. So you'll see right here there's a little asterisk there. Now anytime there's an S with an asterisk, you can tell that that is a static, or at least it's a candidate for a static default route. That's another one that the administrator put on. It said, if you have no idea, we know about static default routes, right? If you have no idea where you're going to, and you need to get someplace, you need to send a packet somewhere, send it out to this address. This is your next top router. The 64, 100, 101 is right here. So that's going to be the exit interface that it's going to use as the serial 000. Excuse me. So we know that we've got the ERGRP, directly connected, local, static, and a static default. So there's 5 different ones you can put in there. Based on the show IP route command output, which interface is the exit interface for the next IP address listed in your output, Traceroute output? The next hop router is going to be a 64, 100, 222.2. We can see that there is one directly connected route right here that would satisfy that route. So we know that the exit interface for that route is going to be the Gigabit Ethernet 00. Let's just do a copy, paste. Telnet to the third IP address in the traceroute list and log in. What is the host name of the current device? Well, let's do that. So we're going to copy, Telnet, paste, enter, Cisco, enable class, enable class. There we go. The name of this one is a long one, so I'm going to do another copy paste job. Issue the show IP route connected command. What networks are connected directly to this router? That was weird. So show IP, come on, route connected. So this is just the directly connected routes. So we've got 1, 2, oh my goodness, 3, and lastly 4. So those are the 4 directly connected routes. Refer to the addressing schematic down below. Which interface connect the device? Which interfaces connect the devices between Traceroute 2 and Traceroute 3? Now, it would been, some people will fill this in as they go. I find it a lot easier to fill this in as we go backwards. So we're going to kind of save that for the end. But we can we can answer this question here. So we'll say show run. our interface that was connected to the last one was a 64.104.222.2. We can see that right here. So we know that it's a G interface gigabit Ethernet 01. And that is for this router. This router. Connects to, and then the last interface was this G01 or G00 if I remember right, and that's right here. Right there, the 64.104.222.1, and that's a gigabit Ethernet 00. And the name of this one is Tier 3A. So we can say the ISP Tier 3B interface gigabit Ethernet 01 connects to Tier 3A on gigabit Ethernet 00. All right. Telnet to the fourth IP address in the Traceroute list and log in. Telnet, that's this address down here. Cisco, enable class. Excuse me. All right, Telnet to the fourth. What is the device name? It is a B2 router 1. Issue a command to determine to what interface the B2 server PT PKA is connected. So we're looking for this IP address or the network that one would be on. So we can say show IP interface brief, and we can find that the gigabit Ethernet 01 is on the same network as our server. So we're just going to do a copy, paste. Connected. Oh, this is a bad night for me. If you have used the addressing scheme, blah 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 blah, so none of this stuff works. With a complete documentation of the addressing scheme and knowledge of the path from sales to branch, you should now be able to draw the new branch location in the topology documentation space below. That's not true. So in our mind, you just have the router and it's connected to the server, but really there's one extra little command that you need to draw this new branch location well. Let's show you. It's show. Are you ready? Show CDP neighbors. And you're going to find that there is actually an extra device that is connected on this network. What this looks like is this is what we would assume it looks like from the addressing table. You have the ISP, then your B2 R1 router, and then here is the server connected to it. No, 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 no. What it really looks like is this. We have a B2 S1 switch. You see the capability S equals switch is connected on gigabit Ethernet 01 back here on R1. So that is the last little bit of info you need to do to complete this thing. Now, what I like to do is I like to work my way backwards through these interfaces. Now, if you have been keeping up with me and filling this in as you go, kudos to you. I'm just not that smart. And I like to go show run because I get both of the interface and the subnet mask, or the IP address for the interface and the subnet mask. So I find that on G01, you know what? I'm going to do capital log. G01. We have this IP address right here. Copy, paste, and this is the subnet mask. Copy, paste. On G01, that one's already halfway filled in for us. And that's going to be a struggle for me. I like hitting the Control-C, and that doesn't like it in the command prompt. Alright, so now what I do is I say exit. And that's going to take us back one step backwards through our telnet. Okay? Then we're just going to do the same thing. Show run. Alright, so we've got an interface gigabit Ethernet 1. We have a gigabit Ethernet 2. So let's do a gigabit Ethernet 01. Here's the IP address. Here's the subnet mask. And then here's the IP address for gigabit Ethernet 2. F01 is right here. Oh, we already had that. We just need the subnet mask. And then we also have an F02 that has an address. Oh, you know what? Also the names. So this was B2-R1. So let's not forget the names. Where was I? Okay, right here. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. See how easy this is? The device that we are currently on is this tier 3, ISP tier 3B. Alright, again, let's just type exit, show run. Before we do that, let's copy the name. So we've got a G00. Here is the IP address. Here is the subnet mask. Then we've got another S interface, a serial interface, and that is the S010. Again, we're just copying and pasting. I'm sure most of you have left already. If you're still sticking around, you're awesome. Can't believe I'm sitting here doing this. Okay, whatever. Next, let's exit again, and we're back on R4. Show run. So we've got only two. Well, we've got a 1.1. That's a point-to-point. So that one's already addressed, and we've got only two other interfaces that have addresses. That's a G00 and a S000. Now the G00 has an IP address up here, and then we've got the subnet mask here. Then we have this address down here. And I'm almost done with this video. I'm so excited. We're done. Thank you for sticking with me if you did. You guys are awesome. If there are any other questions that you have, please put them in the comment section below, because other people probably are wondering the same thing. And let's get those questions answered. Also, I'd love you to, if you would subscribe, if you would share this video with other people, and even share this channel with other people. That'd be awesome. You guys have a great night, and as always, peace.